pause on this computer. Okay, now it's recording. Oh, okay, on Zoom now. Welcome, ladies. You're here. This is awesome. I can communicate with you. If you're on Facebook, that's awesome too. If you're watching a replay, that's great. It'll be the same energy, and we are doing quantum jumping. So what I was talking about before, and I think you ladies probably did hear it, is that we're going to be using the Merkabah today in the meditation. We're going to be doing a quantum jump meditation where we're going to be using the Merkabah. So I'm going to give a little bit more information. I know all of you ladies are well informed and you probably know what the Merkabah is, but just to revisit that sacred geometry, revisit what it's for, revisit why we're going to use it when we're traveling. And today we're going to travel. Quantum jumping is moving into that place moving into the place where change has already happened, moving into that place where we're already living the creation that we've manifested. We're already living that life. We're already being who we need to be. And the reason why quantum jumping, sometimes we get information. So we're using it as an information source. It's like if someone from our future could come and tell us what we needed to do to take that next step, and we don't action it, then we're still in the same place. So quantum jumping works, like all things, if we have certain premises, and they're quantum, like the quantum mechanics, so the double slit experiment. So those of you who are unsure what the double split experiment is, I'm going to give a brief explanation, but I would say go and watch it because it will retrain your unconscious mind. So what the double split experiment that they did many years ago proved is that what we observe is we get more or less what we get what we observe. So what they did, this experiment of shooting particles through two splits. So they expected the particles to actually make two lines on the wall. So I don't want to go into so much detail because I might get it wrong, but it's basically, so they expected that these particles would have two lines on the wall. When they weren't observing these particles, the particles created a wave image. When they observed it, it created the two linear lines. So what they took from that is that, you know, let's say time and things are we're like a wave with multiple, I'm trying to think of the right word, not dimensions, but opportunities, multiple scenarios, until we fix our focus on one, and that is sort of what we choose. So if there's multiple timelines, multiple scenarios, multiple opportunities, it's where we fix our attention that is the result. So it's what we observe is what we experience. What we observe is what this is why in theta healing, when we go up to the seventh plane and we do they talk about the observer. So the theta healer is the observer of the change. When we observe change, it creates that it has happened. And so that's what we're going to do today. So it's like, so the premise that we need to work on when we're quantum jumping is one, that change can happen. And that there's multiple scenarios, that time isn't linear. And I know we've talked about time before, that time isn't linear, that, you know, that all things are happening at once. So that there's different dimensions. So your future self, who's living this desired life that you've seen in your mind's eye, actually is happening right now. That's a timeline that we can choose. So and there's a timeline when other things have happened, like maybe a timeline where unwanted situations have happened. So in the quantum jumping, it's like we are observing and choosing, because we can choose, because we're powerful beings, we're choosing the timeline. Now, the premise that we need to understand is, what is the fixed point? The fixed point is not the present. The fixed point isn't the present, because if the fixed point is the present, we're observing it and saying this is the reality. And that's why we sort of sometimes are constantly recreating. And this is the glitch in the matrix, so to speak. The glitch in law of attraction, the glitch is that what we observe, we create more of what we observe. So if we're observing lack, we seem to create more of it. And that's why, you know, the compounding, the Matthew effect, the more like the little steps you take as you can observe it, the more, like someone who has a lot of money finds it easier to make more money. Someone who is in a place of poverty and lack finds it difficult, because what they're observing and what they're feeling in the present moment is their reality. It's their fixed point. So quantum jumping is actually letting go of that. It's not saying it doesn't exist, but it's saying there's many more. And so you're allowing another fixed point to show up. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that? So let's just pull a card. I feel like there's some message in here for all of us. So my intention that this will be a message for all of us as we go on this journey together, as we create our Merkabah vehicle. Our Merkabah is a vehicle of light. So Merkabah, and I have only learned this read. The Mer is light, and I think I have this right. Mer is light. Ka is body, and Ba is spirit. I could have the Ka and the Ba wrong, but it's like it's light, body, spirit. It is the vehicle of light. This is what if you follow different spiritual teachers, they talk that Thoth. So I've talked about the Hermetic principles, and Thoth, who is the god of wisdom and the scribe of the Emerald Tablets and the Hermetic principles, he was said to travel in his Merkabah to other dimensions, and he witnessed other civilizations rise and fall and things like that. So he used it to observe other dimensions, other civilizations, other planets. I don't know, we're going a bit out there at the moment, but hey, why not? So what do we need to know? Keepers of the earth. Keepers of the earth. So this is, we'll keep it back into the earth plane. So that's probably my guide to do that. Keep it back here. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. So the ancients were well aware of the sacred geometry and how powerful it was. The ancients talked about traveling in the Merkabah, and so let's bring on their wisdom. Okay, and this is the priestess card, which is we're bringing in that magic. You are being called to lead. So we're being called to step up. We're going to step up into this new reality. We're going to step up into this quantum jumping. So at first, you know, I've spoken about the double split experiment. I've spoken about how what we observe is what we see is real. So this is where the observer comes in. So what quantum jumping in this exercise is that we're really teleporting our consciousness into a state where change has already happened. So then for this exercise to be powerful, so we get the information we need, we then have to release the beliefs that time is linear and that what we are witnessing right now is all that is. And that's, yes, thanks, Nikki. Like we're witnessing that this is not all that is. This is just one version, one wave of what we're observing. And so it's just to open your mind to possibilities. Open your mind to a wave of possibilities. and for us to then, so we're going to move into the place where we're a wave. This is just one wave that we're experiencing, and we have an inner knowing of what we want to experience. We want to experience a desired result. So what is it? So let's get started. And do I want to give any more information? Actually, I will just show you a picture of the Merkabah. And I want you to understand, so you can have a visual representation. I'm going to share my screen. And okay, there's Facebook. Okay. So can everyone see, let me know, can you see this this video? Just give me a high five or a 1 in the chat box if you can see the video or you're seeing the Facebook page. Can everyone see this picture of this person? Yes, great. Okay, so what we're going to do in the meditation, I just want to give you a visual representation before we get started, is that we are going to create our own Merkabah. So a Merkabah is 2 tetrahedrons on top of each other. So they're sort of like 2 pyramids on top of each other. And the top pyramid represents the feminine energy, and the bottom pyramid that comes down to the earth represents the masculine energy. So this is where, and this is where our light body, our consciousness, our true source, our divine being can travel into the time that into that end result. And we're using this divine geometry, this divine craft to move into that end result, so we can witness, observe another timeline, the timeline that we choose. And from that timeline, we are going to then bring back, once we witnessed it, we have changed. We have then witnessed that this is a truth. This is a truth. And we ask for guidance and we ask for action steps. And then we come back to the present, into the physical, into this current reality changed. So we're going to have open our mind that when we come back from this journey, that we are different. We have got more information, and we're asking for the codes of that version of us to become back with us. We're going to travel it back in our Merkabah. So I'm going to just play this short, sorry, my mouse must be running out of batteries. I'm going to just play this. So imagine yourself in this pyramid, and it's going to create the Merkabah shape. So I want you in your mind's eye, when we start the meditation, to do something similar to this. Imagine yourself in the pyramid and you're creating your own Merkabah. And this is, and also that the Merkabah spins. When we travel, it spins. The top part of the pyramid spins and the bottom part spins, and that's how we travel. And this is the second part. So I just wanted for you to see it and how that Merkabah looks for you, the color it is, whatever it is. I want you to see it from your point of view because you're creating your own Merkabah. So it's like 2, 3 pyramids, 2 pyramids on top of each other. And I wanted to give you a visual representation of that, showing this video. And that it is a 3D structure. The Merkabah itself, it's a 3D Jewish star. It does look like that, doesn't it? But there's also a lot of meanings for that too, that the pyramid, but it's actually, well, it wouldn't be 3D. What is it when it's spinning like that? So it is the pyramid on both sides, and it spins, and that's what travels. So we're going to do this meditation. So this is where your light body moves through dimensions. This is your light body moving through the Merkabah. So we're using this sacred geometry, and we're asking for the codes for us to travel in that. So usually when I do the quantum jump, we just use consciousness. This time we're bringing in another powerful tool to bring it in as for us to travel to that place. There's other meditations. There's other Merkabah meditations you can do online. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the releasing of the beliefs that this current reality is a fixed point, that this current reality is what we can change. So we're just going to close our eyes. And I want you just to relax, and we're going to close our eyes. And I want you to think of what is that version of you that you see in your end result. What is that version of you? What is that thing that you want to create that you haven't created yet? And what image would you have in your mind's eye? Like if you took a Polaroid of that end result, what would it look like? Who would be there? That's the time we're traveling to. So if you're imagining that we're in the DeLorean and in Back to the Future, that we're putting in that time, you'll have that photograph in your head of what is happening at the time when you have manifested that desired end result. And we're going to travel to that time. And to see what do we need to do, what are the action steps that we can bring back into the present so that we are observing and choosing this timeline. We're observing it. What we observe becomes reality. What we observe, where we focus our attention, is how we manipulate time. That's how we choose where it goes. That's how we get the line in that experiment. We don't get a wave where like it's happening without our interaction. We are choosing what to observe in this situation. So I want you to have in your mind's eye, what does it look like? What picture are we going to? What picture do you have in your mind's eye? What little video do you have that we can put in our mind's eye to choose that timeline? And then I want you now that we have chosen that, you can write it down. You can just have that image imprinted in your mind's eye. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes, roll your shoulders back, relax. And I want you to see yourself sitting in that pyramid, the three-sided pyramid, facing up. I want you to see yourself as in that picture, sitting in that three-sided pyramid. And I want you now to just feel it. I want you to see your mind, all your thoughts as a bowl, as a gold bowl that's just full of thoughts, and your thoughts are little pieces of paper that are just sitting in this bowl. And I want you now to see a beautiful light hand, a hand that's made of light. And this hand is pulling out these thoughts that are preventing you from surrendering to unlimited possibilities, surrendering you the beliefs that you have that have kept you stuck, the beliefs about this reality that you're observing every day. I want you now just to see this beautiful light hand just move, just scoop these thoughts out of the bowl until it's empty, until we have a clear mind, until we become clear in our thoughts, clearing our mind. And I want you now just to see yourself sitting in this pyramid, ready for your adventure, ready for you to move and travel through time, dimensions, and choosing this end result for you to go and observe your desired end result. And now I want you to build this Merkabah, your travel, your vehicle of light, this vehicle that's going to travel your light body. And I want you to see your light body. I want you to see this version of you that is the highest of vibration, the highest of frequency, sitting in this pyramid. And as you bring the other second part of the pyramid, the one with the point facing down, and you're sitting there, and it can be any color. It can be crystal. It can be light, whatever it is, whatever you're creating, this is your Merkabah. And I want you now to see it spinning. First the top starts spinning, and then the bottom starts spinning. And you can feel this momentum. And from this momentum, I want you to feel this energy of the torus field. The torus field is like a donut shape that's being created from your heart space. This torus field is like a donut shape that's coming up from your heart and around the Merkabah. It's like an engine. It's just feeding itself, coming back and around. So like a large tire that's just feeding itself, a donut that's just feeding itself, coming out of your heart space and around, and your Merkabah is spinning, spinning, spinning. And you can feel now the Merkabah taking off. And it's energized from the love, from the space in your heart, this knowingness. We're activating this ancient wisdom of how to create this vehicle, this energy that you have inside us, this torus field of energy that can create movement. And as this Merkabah is spinning, I want you now to see yourself traveling, just traveling through time, space. And give your time, space, just to enjoy the journey too, as you're moving through time and space, moving through dimensions until you come to that destination that you've put in your mind's eye, the instructions you've given, until you get to that end result. Get to that image, that video, and you're in real time, that you're now observing. You're now observing this future scenario. And so you're spinning and you're in this space as you're observing the version of you that is now living this desired reality. What things are the same? What things are different? Where are you living? Who's with you? What does it feel like? And as you're spinning, I want you now to land as if you're landing your Merkabah, landed it, and you're walking around, and you come out of your Merkabah and you're walking around in this end result, this new timeline. and you're observing. You're observing it. You expect it. You know what to expect. And you're looking at this movie as if it's this scene that you're now walking in, as if you've walked on a film set and you know exactly what to expect. What does your day look like? What does it feel like? What do you feel? What are the emotions that you have when you're in this end result? What does the version of you look like? What is the version of you? What do you do every day? Who are you interacting with? What is your mindset like? What are your thoughts? And I want you now just to feel into that version of you as you're witnessing this reality, observing it, choosing it. And then you can see the version of you and step into the body of the version of you. And now, not only are you observing, but you're living it. And you're seeing this reality through the eyes of the future you. You're seeing this reality through the eyes of the future you. You're walking around. You're seeing what she sees. You look at your hands. You look at yourself in the mirror. What's different? How are you feeling? Do you feel proud of yourself, excited? Do you feel abundant? Do you feel confident? Who's there with you? What was it that you had to let go of to be this person, this version of you? What was it that you had to let go of? And as you're in this future version of you, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you ask that question? What was it that you had to let go of? And I want you to keep that in mind. You can write it down at the end of the session. Or if you feel like you need to write it down now, write it down. What was it that you had to let go of? What is it now that you believe? What belief changed? What became the most important thing to believe to become the new you? Remember that or write it down. What was it that you had to let go of? And what was the thing you needed to believe in? And what was the epiphany that you knew things had changed? And we can say it's this moment in time when you saw this, when you understood what you needed to let go of, when you understood what you needed to believe in. And that you remembered that you had the wisdom all along. You had the ancient wisdom all along of how to create this life, that you could choose it. And ask this future version of you, what action step must I take when I get back to this other reality, this other dimension? What action step is the one that I need to take now? And I want you to see this version. If she hasn't told you, there's also something written on a piece of paper that she gives you in an envelope. That she gives you in an envelope. And this version of you will say, open it when you get back on your trip, on your journey. And you have one more look around. You have one more look around at this vision of your future, this set point, this absolute set point, knowing that this is true. And also asking that in the next 24 hours, you're going to receive a sign that this is true. In the next 24 hours, you're asking for a sign to know that you are on this new timeline. And the sign could be anything. It could be a gold hat. It could be a red pen. It could be anything. It could be an owl. Whatever it is, whatever comes to mind, what is the sign that this is real? Maybe it's something that you've seen in this future version of you that you will see. Maybe it's something in the house that you're living in the environment you are, and you will see something in the next 24 hours to prove that you're on this new timeline. You're asking for that. And as you move back into your Merkabah, you're moving back into your Merkabah, and you're having one look at this version of you, this timeline that you've chosen, and you're smiling because you're excited about the journey, you're excited about the planning, you're excited about the next step. You're excited. Because you know who you're becoming, and you're closer to that because you are coming back this version of you. You're coming back this version of you. As you step back into the Merkabah, this version of you from the future steps back in, excited for the opportunity to do it again, to recreate again what has already been done. The joy, the excitement. And as you're spinning, as the Merkabah takes off and spinning, 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 you have the envelope in your hand to open when you come back. And you're spinning, spinning. And you travel through time and space where there's nothing, nothingness, just all that is, everything happening at once. And you come back through a portal back to your current location in this dimension, knowing what you've seen is true. Superconscious, please treat the unconscious, conscious, superconscious, knowing that this journey is true. And do a massive change history and everything else that's needed in the best and perfect way. Thank you. Superconscious, please treat all beliefs about linear time and the rules and definitions that we've put in place about linear time, and do a massive change history and everything else that's needed in the best and perfect way. Thank you. And I want you now to, as you move back into the present, see yourself once again sitting in the Merkabah, in the room that you're in. As you see the Merkabah detach from itself until you're just sitting in your pyramid, until that pyramid then dissolves. So each part of the Merkabah dissolves, stops spinning slowly, slowly. And then each part of the pyramid dissolves and you're sitting in your space. And before you open your eyes, I want you to open up that metaphysical, that energetic envelope in your mind's eye. And I want you to see what was said on it. If nothing is said, don't worry. If you wanted a message right now, what would it be? And maybe if there's nothing there, it means you can choose. You're open to choose. To draw the picture, a blank canvas. This is a new chapter. Your beliefs and everything are clear. You're ready to choose a new path forward. And as you come back to the room, superconscious, please ground all memories that we've touched on today. Conscious, unconscious, superconscious, future memories, quantum memories, tandem memories, ancestral memories. And please ground into the benevolent matrix of the universe. Thank you. Please ground in the beautiful crystalline core of Mother Gaia, fifth dimensional earth, that we're here to create that future on this timeline. That we have now created a fixed point at that desired point, and now we're just allowing for our future to unfold frame by frame in front of us as we move towards that end result, knowing that we have connection to this greater part of us. And as you take a deep breath in and out, feel into your heart space, feel into your truth. And you look forward to the unfamiliar being familiar. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How does everyone feel about that? Have we come back? Does anyone have any questions? Did it feel good? Did you have any resistance to traveling? Or do you feel back grounded? If you feel like you're still a little flighty, imagine drawing up energy from the core of the earth up through your feet, through your legs, into your heart space to ground you on this earth plane. And let me know in the next 24 hours, sometimes something comes up, sometimes, you may have seen something or something that you didn't know, maybe in your home, maybe something on your path that is unfamiliar that will seem familiar. Something that you think, I don't know this, I haven't seen this before, but then it feels familiar to you, to know that you're on the right path, you're on this journey, that you have traveled through dimensions now in your Merkabah. And you can travel, now that you've created your Merkabah, you can travel in this before at any time. It is safe to revisit. You're in a safe space. Did anyone get any message in the envelope, or was it that you want to share, or was it blank that this is the new beginning? And, if you'd like, we can. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad. That was amazing. Loved it. Epic. That is awesome. That's awesome. I will take us off live now. And if anyone wants to share, no, I don't want to end the meeting. If anyone wants to share, they can. So I'm going to